Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Ray Lopez, your favorite realtor here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And I say beautiful because this is why we live in Florida. Today, it's sitting at about 78 degrees. It's nice and sunny. And for the last 7 days, we've had perfect weather. But right before that, believe it or not, people always talk about, I don't like living in Florida because we don't have seasons. When I came back from Amsterdam, my wife and I went on a 14-day Rhine River cruise. Came back, it was 33 degrees in Orlando, Florida. I had just left Amsterdam that morning. It was 39. It was actually colder in Orlando, Florida. We do have seasons, but that lasted for 2 days. So that's a Florida winter right there. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in today's world. We just had a 43-day government shutdown come to an end. There's not a good thing that happens when the government shuts down. It's typically all bad, and this one's much like that. It's the longest one in history. It's done now. Life is getting back to normal. FHA, VA is getting back to generating normal loan times. USDA loan program just opened back up. So a lot of the funding's going back online so we can have a nice, smooth holiday season. But let's talk about what's going on elsewhere in the world. The profile of the NAR buyer and seller came out this week. And this is the first time in history that the first-time homebuyer hit the average age of 40 years old. Back many moons ago, 22 years ago, when I got into real estate, that number was 28. So people are waiting to buy. And from what we talk about, it's typically about affordability. You graduate from college or you don't. You come out, you don't make as much money as you're going to make at one point in your life. And buying your first house isn't on a lot of people's radars. And that's pretty much a travesty of justice. And this is why. If the average house price in America goes up 4% a year and people are not buying till 40, they're missing the 10-year window of if they would have bought at 30 and then they sold it 10 years later. Realtor.com actually put out an article that at $450,000, the average American is missing out on $150,000 in generational wealth from that appreciation, from the tax credits that you get, and for the mortgage pay down that you pay every time you pay your mortgage. That's $150,000 because people are waiting till they're 40. So the government now is throwing all kinds of things that you see out there. They're talking about 50-year mortgages. They're talking about credits for this and that. Guys, the reality is we need to get people into the market as long as it's a good thing for them. Don't buy a house to buy a house. Buy a house because it's right, but we need to help America be affordable again. So now that we know that profile was great because it talked a little bit about the average repeat buyer right now. How about this? 62 years old, early boomer. So people right now aren't trading their house up because they have more kids. They're typically trading it up because they have enough equity in their house that they're either going cash or they're putting a large down payment down from their previous house, and they're not worried about the interest rates being somewhere around 6.25, 6.5. So that's what's going on in the world of real estate. Let's talk about what's going on in Orlando. This is the second month in a row that we've had some really positive numbers. And what I mean by that is our closed sales were up 12% year over year. Last year, we had a little over 2,000 closed sales. This year, we have 2,335. So that's a 12% increase in October versus October of last year's numbers. But what I really like is I like to look to the future. People want to know what's happening tomorrow and next year. Our pending sales are up 30%. 900 transactions are pending this year versus last year. And remember this, a pending sale is something that goes under contract that's scheduled to close in the future. So our November numbers, our December numbers, our January numbers are trending to be higher. The Fed keeps talking about cutting more times for the interest rates to go down. Remember, we talked about this a few months ago. There are 6.1 million buyers that are sitting on the fence waiting for the interest rates to touch the fives. And in talking to our mortgage folks, we know that if you get an FHA loan and you pay one mortgage discount point, you can actually get an FHA loan in the fives as far as your interest rate locked in at 15 or 30 years. So what we're saying is there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon. Our median price is pretty flat. That means that the market's not crashing. You keep hearing people saying, Ray, when's the market going to crash? Well, if it hasn't crashed yet, it looks like we're finally starting to turn the corner after 3 years. It looks like we're getting back on track to get back towards a normal market. But if you like what you're hearing today, don't forget, please like what you're hearing. Please subscribe if you want to hear a little bit about what we're talking about every month, bringing you up-to-date information about not just the national market, but more importantly about Orlando's market. Also in the world of of us as the Ray Lopez team, we just had our great Oktoberfest last month. So Oktoberfest was a big hit. We want to thank all of our clients that came out for that. A lot of good food, a lot of giveaways, but more importantly, everybody just showed up, had a good time. And for this month, this coming Sunday, the 23rd, we have Pie Day. Whether you want an apple or a pumpkin pie, let us know. We have pizza, snacks, drinks, we have music. I'd love to see you there. Again, this is Ray Lopez. Thank you for listening, and we'd love to hear from you. Put some comments down there. I'd love to interact with you. Have a great day.